which you must be taking care of. So the first thing is, when you're making a resume, focus on the job itself. Don't just make a resume which you apply, which you can share everywhere. Because as I said, there are certain things like skills and objective statement which depends on the job you're applying for. So make sure that you edit your resume every time you apply for the job, right? Then quantify your achievements. Let's say when you're putting a job experience, don't just say I was responsible for sales in such a such region. Say that you achieved a particular figure of sales in a particular time period, let's say, or if you were in customer satisfaction, say I achieved customer satisfaction acquisition increased by so and so percentage. So when you add numbers to your uh, achievements, it draws attention of the HR. So it is easier for them to read instead of putting words, and then use bold to highlight those. So it catches the attention of the reader. Then the third point is use action verbs. So what I mean by action words is, let's say when you are putting an achievement or putting a responsibility, instead of writing I was responsible for something, write that I achieved something out of that, so it puts a better impression, because everybody, like I said, has responsibility. Everybody performs. But if you're putting something like achieve, if you're putting something like organized, managed, or led a team, these things show that, okay, you have leadership skills, things, understanding. And make sure that put these things in bold, because then it needs to draw attention of everybody. Then a very common mistake which people do, that even good resumes have small mistakes like spelling errors, or they use a wrong word, which can highlight, or which can, catch the attention of the HR, because no matter how well you make a resume, mistakes get highlighted more than any good point. So if it can like show and put an impression that you aren't attentive, you aren't careful. So make sure that you read your resume again and again. There shouldn't be any grammatical errors or spelling mistakes in that. Next slide, please. Another important points are, need to make sure that, as I said in the beginning, a resume is usually one pager itself. So if the HR does not have much time, okay, they only have a few seconds to spend on a resume. So if you make it too long, it's they won't even read it. So at the most, it can be of 2 pages. That too, if you have a lot of work experience, but ideally, it should only be of 1 page. Then, as I said before, you need to put your skills based on your specific job. Don't just go on Google, search for some fancy words and put it in your resume, because anyway, it won't be justified in the interview. So please read the JD, understand yourself, and then put those skills in the resume. Then use a font which is professional and easy to read. Like, don't use any font which is roundish. Use fonts with like Arial, Caliber, or Times New, because those fonts are easy to read, they are sharp, and they look professional. Then when you're writing a summary, a lot of people, what they do, they only write the role they see. They don't write about themselves, of what they offer and why they are eligible for the role. So when you're writing a summary, start with who you are, what you have been doing, and then write what you want in your career. That is the way which also justifies what you want. Next slide. So when you're writing your work experience, make sure that you write the newest one first, and then below it, write the older ones. A lot of people write the older ones first, but that is the wrong way to do. Then when you're writing, let's say if you're a fresher and you don't have work experience, you can also add, let's say, projects which you did in your undergraduation or post graduation. This can, cover up for the gap which you have in your employment, because you're a fresher. Last thing, a lot of companies have been using ATS, the applicant tracking system, which is a software. So instead of HR, a machine reads your resume and decides if it's good enough or not. Now, these machines have a particular feature, like they can read the keywords which you put. So it is, which is why it's important. Like I said, you need to put numbers or you need to put keywords or skills which the ATs can read. So if you're putting words which are related to the JD, the ATs would think that, okay, this person is suitable. So they will send your resume to the HR for further rounds. Now, also we make sure that you don't lie about it, only put skills and any keywords which are true, and hence if you're good, so the ATS will be able to read those. Also, when you're sending a resume, send it in a PDF format, because that is ideally a format in which most can read. If you use Word or any other format, the machine may not be able to read it. Also, when you're using any font size, any margin, bullets, spacing, it should be consistent throughout the resume. If you have margins in Word, make sure they're equal everywhere. If you're using bullet points, make sure it's aligned in a single line. Use same kind of bullet point when you're using any spacing, line spacing as such. If it's 1.5 to anything which you do, make sure that it's same throughout the resume. There should not be sudden spaces or clustering of lines or words, because it will even if it's good content, it will make it look bad.